This is one hell of a place Regis decides to meet. Especially with a ghoul over there monitoring. Hello everyone, my name is Butter Tongsly, and welcome back after a long while to another episode of Witcher 3 Blood and Wine. Where we last left off, we have just modified our abilities to be able to further increase our mutations. But I'm not able to really do anything with these until I kind of get myself some ability points, because as you can see, it needs ability points and actually to unlock these things. And then we have this one right here, which unlocks ability slots. So I'm interested to seeing what these can do when I get them. Like, they're already saying what they can do, but I'm interested in these, and then afterwards further getting the other ones, because I want to see how well these can enhance our combat, which is all the better of why I'm liking that I'm doing the extra quest now, because it gives me a chance of getting these points. And now that we finally did that, we are now here to meet up with Regis in the cemetery, and the cemetery has a little bit of a ghoul thing going on over here.
Regis!
Damn it. Locked. No way, I got the place wrong. This is it. Gotta be another way in around here.
Something tells me that cave that I... They're right under me. Something tells me another way into the crypt. I gotta go in this hole. I'm not gonna like this one bit, but I bet this is the way in. Yep, it's even red too. Melty, wish me luck.
It wasn't over yet, now it is.
Good, Melty. Sorry, I bumped you on my headphones. Knew it!
I'm not responding. There's no play over this puzzle, right? Either I'm retarded or you're just growing right now.
Decaying bones. Kikimores must have tunneled into the grave. Damn, you're ugly. Kikimores. Around here.
Alright, you guys don't like fire. I don't know what the hell that is. Oh, Kikimores are toxic. So I'm noticing my toxicity gauge is up, and I didn't use any potions. Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Kikimore eggs. Need to incinerate these to ash.
Come on!
Surprise, motherfucker!
Ah, no. Ah. Okay. You kind of don't get hurt by fire. Oh no. Ooh. I don't know how I got full health back, but I'm kind of glad I did. I hate these things. Ah. No, let me... Ooh.
Yep. So
Okay, I got some Mastercraft stuff. Interesting
The
loot.
hell in his eye. Ought to use it.
Oh, no, wait. No, I need to use the eye thing. Okay, yeah, I just interact with it. I thought I had to pull it out. Lucky me, because I actually have a damaged and need a repair silver sword. Is that a good one? What is it? It is, but I am not of level yet. I need one more level up. Okay. What's this? Knight's Oath. Here rests Sir Raymond of Gishon, or Gichon. On my grave you will not find the likeness of the man who once lived. I gave my heart, soul, and body to the knightly craft, and I wish to be remembered as a knight. The symbol of chivalry is a naked sword, and that symbol rests above me. The sword that defended my honor, my friend, and my heart. The sword that was closer to me than a brother. The sword that was never stained by the blood of an innocent man. Let it rest on this stone through the ages. Oh, well, sadly I need to take your sword because it's a silver sword. You're cool with that, right? Yeah, you're good with it. Okay, I repaired my sword. Let's see what happens.
Agreed to meet a vampire at a cemetery. How much more cliche can you get?
Nothing comes readily to mind.
Could have left the door unlatched.
What of my privacy? I value it rather deeply. Unmolested, especially by unwanted guests, that's my preferred state. Besides, I knew you'd find a way to get in.
True enough. Need to find your friend. I'm hoping you'll agree to help.
I shall do whatever's in my power. Yet what you want or even need must matter little. What matters is what Detlef wants. If he does not wish to be found, you will not find him. Ever. End of story.
Come on. Gotta be some way.
Vampires can evade detection by the senses, and no divination magic works on us. Even the most precise megascope would be useless.
And this? Could this help?
Wherever did you get that?
Off one of the beast's victims, found by a bend in the river. Body was chopped in pieces. 3 of those pieces were hands. Hand with the ring seemed the odd one out, but Bruxa had taken an interest in it.
It's Detlef's hand, without a doubt. It will do splendidly.
Yeah, let's ask about the ring.
Ring's pretty intriguing. Made of no metal I've ever seen. And the ornamentation.
It comes from our home, where we lived before the conjunction of spheres. It's actually mine. I received it from a dear old friend. You might call him a humanist. He saw us vampires as guests here, guests who owe their hosts, meaning you humans and the elder races, respect.
Respect? Meaning not to treat us like cattle to be slaughtered for food?
Precisely. And the reason why I in turn gave it to Detlef. To remind him of the ideals my old friend championed.
Okay.
The hand. What do you plan to do with it?
You've heard of Kobinaris' theory of tissue memory retention.
Rings a distant bell. Read about it in Alchemia Oblitera. There's a copy of Kermoran, tattered, nearly disintegrated. But if memory serves, Covenarius never managed to prove it worked.
He did prove it, just never managed to publish his findings. He and I corresponded, you see, after we became friends. Thus, I know he completed his research and performed the first tests. It's complicated, so without delving into details, it is possible to use any piece of tissue to reconstruct what a whole body experienced.
How's it work? We need any special equipment?
We must brew a decoction which Covenarius gave a rather poetic name, resonance. Once imbibed, it sends one into a trance similar to that induced by narcotics. This triggers visions of events linked to strong emotions experienced by the tissue's owner. Picture it as dreaming a fragment of someone's life.
Any chance we might see what Dettlaff was doing just before he lost his hand?
Indeed. Though I also hope resonance will reveal the location of Dettlaff's hideout.
I know, it's a cactus. I know what a cactus is.
Don't know why they're talking about cactuses, but okay.
Well, we know that at least it's not used in any nefarious way.
But can't you just summon Dettlaff?
Can't you just summon Dettlaff? You're both hired vampires. There's gotta be a way.
If I'm to be entirely candid, there is indeed one. But believe me, we will be better off never availing ourselves of it. It is a last resort. Absolutely.
Last resort? The hell? Why?
There is a being who can summon Dettlaff. Possesses the authority, even the power, to force him to appear in a given place. But the very act of contacting this being, well, it's akin to walking a slack line extended over a chasm filled with molten lava. An exercise as perilous to me as it would be to you. A risk I'm unwilling to take. I beg you, let's do it my way. It will be both quicker and easier.
Okay, brew the decoction then.
Covenarius spent half his life proving his theory. Wild guess. Making a dose of resonance won't be easy.
You guessed correctly. In addition to Dettlaff's tissue, we shall need a powerful occipital lobe stimulant. Effectively a poison, to make one susceptible to visions.
Well, got a few ingredients to choose from. Unfortunately, all are pretty rare. There's Mamoon glands, but closest ones I know of are in Vizima. A spotted white saliva would also serve, but they were cold to extinction over a century ago. Could go with a kobold's eyes, but the creatures are sentient. Rather not gouge one's eyes out.
Given that we lack the time to sleuth this out ourselves, permit me to summon some help.
I'm curious to what help he's planning to summon. And why are we zooming in on that?
No, it only happened that one time around, and I really was a murderer, and then I killed them all for it. So I got your revenge. No, I just kept on making everything confusing for him. I was like, no coffee. See, the problem is I know you will do it on some type of like weird stipulation. That's probably right, but you weren't bringing no evidence for it, and that was what was around them. Yes, that's the angle I take.
What was that?
A raven? Rather a common sight at this latitude. Very intelligent fowl. I asked him to look for the creatures you mentioned, him and his brethren. Perhaps they'll find one in the area, and I would hazard that a flock of ravens will spy any said creature faster than a solitary witcher would. With all due respect to your skills, my friend. It will take them some time nonetheless, so perhaps you'd care for a snifter of mandrake.
I can just stab everyone as long as they keep believing she's innocent.
Okay, let's drink.
Rarely say no to a snifter.
Sadly, this is but a weak infusion rather than a proper distillate.
Even better. I remember your mandrake hooch. Made people say things they'd have rather kept to themselves.
Now, what could Geralt of Rivia prefer to keep to himself?
I am curious about some secrets that Geralt has to say. Ah, there's a bug flying around me. Let's see if maybe I can quiet things down more. Alright. I want to see if Geralt has secrets.
Everyone's got some secret.
I agree wholeheartedly. I also believe it wise at times to share one's secrets, unburden oneself to those one can trust.
This your sophisticated way of asking me if I trust you?
I prefer almost always to ask it directly. It seems a test of intelligence, one you just passed.
Maybe you should go first. Reveal one of your secrets. After all, you vampires lead very interesting lives.
Anything in particular interest you?
Bless me. Where you been? What you've been doing?
Curious what you did after you were reborn.
As I'm sure you can surmise, at first I was thoroughly absorbed with recovering. As it is, I'm still not recovered completely. I was so weak the first year that I could not stand nor move on my own. Detlef bore my weakness bravely, showed great patience. If not for him, I wouldn't be here, and I'd have regenerated far slower. Once I could at last stand unassisted, I set off for Bruges, for my one-time home of Dillingen. There I led the peaceful life of a rural healer and surgeon, enjoying my neighbours' respect and, in fact, constituting the exact opposite of the monstrous vampire the populace imagines.
Bruges, you say? Rebirth make you sentimental?
Perhaps a dash. What of you? Where have you been? Ever find your Cyrilla?
Back then, yeah. But we parted again soon after. And when the time was ripe, she came back. Defeated the Wild Hunt together.
Ooh. Seems I certainly missed quite a bit while I was absent.
True enough. But it's a conversation we'll have another time. Need to know more about you now.
Figured it was about time to click. I want to know everything.
Gotta ask you the big question. One everyone wonders about. What happens after death?
You wish me to tell you if the human belief in the gods is well founded? Well, that I do not know. We vampires differ exceedingly from you humans. Our matter, that of which we are composed, can exist without form. We require neither a heart, nor a brain, nor air to breathe.
But were you dead?
As humans understand death, yes.
Feel anything? Understand anything?
It's rather hard to explain. I felt something very unsettling. Something I cannot even name, for I did no reasoning. Only after rebirth did I begin to understand that what I had felt was cold and unimaginable fear. If not for Detlef, I might have drowned in an eternity of icy terror.
Can't have been alive then. Sheesh, experience like that must be vicious.
Indeed, it's hard to compare to anything I know. Yet you are aware we don't see death as you do. The way you cling to life, we find it entirely peculiar. You are mortals, ergo it's a foregone conclusion. You will die. It's but a question of time. Thus, I often find myself wondering why you try so very hard. To die at 20 years, 40, even 100, what's the difference? They're all but the blink of an eye.
Depends on your point of view. Man who's got 1,000,000 crowns to spend can't possibly understand one who's only got 20.
Very true. One's outlook can indeed change much.
Who knew we were gonna have some little lesson and poetic thought about death and the afterlife? It's an interesting thought, honestly. I can agree with that. There's no telling what's beyond the veil of life and death. All you can do is just wait and see what waits in store for all, man. I'm one of those types of people that believe in the cycle of life, where it begins, it ends, it begins again. It's just an endless cycle, in my opinion.
Got a new life, new body. That give you a new start? Blank slate?
Starting all anew is a very broad concept. What exactly do you mean?
Your blood addiction, say. Wondering if your body's the same, if it still remembers. Maybe if you drank now, you wouldn't get hooked.
All addictions are a form of slavery. Re-addiction's not a risk I'm willing to take, just to test a hypothesis about corporeal regeneration and whether propensities carry over.
Fair enough. Curiosity, that's all. Sorry.
Not to worry, Garrett. Curiosity is a natural reaction under the circumstances, apart from which I've always valued that trait in you.
Always fascinated me the way vampires can regenerate. A hand growing back is one thing, but Detloff recreating you out of a wet smear? Something else entirely.
A difficult and laborious process, but one that's possible, as my presence proves. But I've heard you too had quite the adventure. They say you lost your memory.
For a bit, but Triss helped me get it back. Actually, pretty damn lucky I only had amnesia.
Yes, you humans are rather buggered in those terms. To strip you of life is, well, it's just plain easy. I've always pitied you in that regard. We vampires are much harder nuts to crack. If a member of another race kills one of us, we can be reborn with a living higher vampire's help. However, if one of our own strikes the deadly blow, death is permanent. There can be no rebirth. One of the chief reasons why vampires long ago swore never to fight one another.
That was odd that while he was explaining that, it was zooming in on that headstone right there. Wonder if that's supposed to like hint me of something? Maybe it's to tell about the whole vampire's thoughts of like difference of vampires from man. I don't know. Some things in this game I'm having hard times like understanding. I'll understand it eventually. Something specific you want to ask about
All right.
me?
Give you one question. What do you want to know?
One question to ask one as fascinating as you, Geralt. Cruel parsimony, I'd say, but I shall do my best to make it count. If you were to die and be reborn as I was, in your new life, would you choose to be a witcher?
Now, this is one that's kind of difficult because it's like the player's own opinion, but you also have to think about the character. Geralt doesn't seem to mind being a Witcher at all, but there seems to be parts of Geralt I've seen that there's some things about a Witcher that he kind of wishes he didn't have. Because I can imagine a man like Geralt with how he's like fallen for a woman like Yennefer. I feel like part of him wished he could like have an actual future with Yennefer, like family-wise. But honestly, Geralt, in my opinion, also seems to be the type of man that he's used to like his lifestyle now. That he's not really like, oh, I would love to just quit being a Witcher right then and there. Like, I mean, as you grow up in life with the hobbies or the things that you do in life, you grow attached to it that sometimes not every person can freely, like, change that. Like, some people can, like, continue being, like, wanting to do the very same thing. Similarities could be, like, say, someone who was once someone who made clothes as a tailor. They could one day be a tailor, but then one day maybe something happened. Maybe the tailoring business got burned to the ground by an accident, or the person was fired. And then they were hired at a different job place. They were so used to the environment they were in, some things can make a person uncomfortable. As well as, of course, like, some people can easily cope with in a new environment. Like, hey, maybe he's showing that he can do great even in a grocery store now. Like, he's selling groceries and all that, helping people with groceries and all that jazz, and he's coping completely fine with it. But then there's some people that are too used to the thing that they did before that it kind of, like, as soon as they try something new, they're just like, some people just show signs that they're not doing good at it at all. Like, it'll completely burn to the ground, not literally but figuratively. Like, he'll like start helping bag groceries, but then he accidentally like puts like jars or something on top of someone's like loaves of bread, and it just crushes the whole thing and it just ruins it. And the person in outside, they'll have like a painted smile and say thank you, but on the inside they could also be thinking, what the fuck, they just ruined my bread. Now I'm gonna have to completely go to a different store and get a new loaf, because I'd rather not have to deal with having to see this person spot me and deal with their like face like judging me because, well, they ruined my bread now. So I feel like Geralt, I feel like he would be a Witcher still, even if he started a new life, because he's so used to it. And honestly, I can see a part of him like liking being a Witcher, because like I feel like he doesn't know it, but he does help people more than like people think about Witchers. Like, there's people out there that think Witchers are just these mutants or horrible people that can never have families and such, but I mean, he's also helping people. I mean, yeah, if I was in his shoes, it would kind of suck that I could never have a future with a family, unless adopting, of course, like man can do nowadays. But if I was helping people, then yeah, I would say I would still be a Witcher myself, and I would gladly do it all over again if I was a Witcher.
See, Regis. Doubt I'd know how to be anything else.
Ever tried?
See, you're determined to get an answer, to find out if I like being a Witcher. Just refuse to ask directly, as always. I like being on the path. I like picking up a lead, a trail. I like the tension right before a fight. And nothing gets my adrenaline flowing like battling a beast. Even gotten used to people treating me like a freak, an outcast. Yeah, not something I think about much, but I like being a Witcher.
Thank you for being honest. Honesty is an attribute of the truly brave, and thus a privilege of the very few.
Still no sign of your winged friend. Sure it understood what you wanted?
Dead certain. Let's wait a bit longer. It'll return soon, don't doubt that for a moment.
Yeah, Oki's next. Yeah, well, coffee is now. Oki is next.
Seems his winged friend is back.
How dare you?
Ever vigilant, even in his sleep. Vampire-like, in fact. Are you absolutely certain they don't administer a few of our genes during the trial of the grasses?
I mean, I don't really know if they actually use the vampiric, like, genetics for the trial of the grasses. Maybe they do, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if sooner or later they actually did use that method and it gave certain witchers that certain enhancement.
Appreciate the compliment. Got something for me?
You were right. No kobolds or mamoons for miles around.
Knew it.
Allow me to finish. You see, there's this spotted rat. It haunts an abandoned residence in the Caraberta woods.
Impossible. My brethren hunted down every last spotted white before I was born.
Then it seems you must revise your knowledge of spotted whites. For somehow this one managed to survive your brethren's onslaught. It seems I know this home it haunts. Recall a tale about it. Locals believe the place cursed. Perhaps that's how the white survived, entirely unmolested.
What's about a curse?
Know anything else about this curse?
I don't recall much in particular. Really don't attach much importance to such things. It was mentioned to me as an anecdote, no more.
Come on, search your memory. Something, anything could be important.
I believe it had a relation to hunger, or perhaps greed, rapacity. Someone was punished for something.
Textbook definition of a curse, pretty much.
Sorry, Geralt. I try not to clutter my mind with the details of every far-fetched tale I happen to hear. What are your thoughts?
A specimen of a species thought long extinct, and a curse in one place. That a coincidence, or are they related?
Ah, professional curiosity. Personally, I've nothing against you delving into this dilemma, but please remember we need the white's saliva. Nothing beyond that.
Hey, your painkiller good enough? Your painkiller good enough? I didn't know. That was some time ago. That was a week or so ago.
Whites rarely appear in the woods, even less likely to find them in abandoned human homes. They inhabit remote wildernesses, old abandoned cemeteries.
What's your point?
This might not be a spotted white after all. Your little helper might have made a mistake.
I sincerely doubt it. Ravens are devilishly intelligent creatures, and they've highly developed observational skills.
What exactly did they observe?
The area around the estate, it's covered in spoons.
Spoons?
Spare me the skeptical smile. I'm but the bearer of this news. Or perhaps this spotted white is a hoarder. Or the spoons are somehow related to the curse.
Interesting. I guess it's time to visit this white.
Let's do this. Start making your decoction while I go get some saliva from that white. Uses it in its brews.
Do you imagine the white will simply sell you some?
Worst case scenario, I'll bring you its salivary glands. They ought to do as well.
For a moment there, I imagined you asking the white to spit into a vial. Quite amusing as a thought, but the salivary glands will do fine indeed.
So, see you later.
Yes, till later. I shall start by perusing some tomes.
Tomes? Thought you were gonna make this decoction.
We require one last ingredient. Alas, obtaining it could prove a trifle toilsome. Thus, I hope to identify a suitable alternative.
All right. Good luck.
And to you.
Okay, so it looks like we're going to be getting some saliva glands. Well, I guess in the next episode, we're going to find this white, get its glands, and bring it back so that we can make this little decoction and see what we can do about getting this information on this hand that we have, knowing that it's from the hand of someone that was a vampire. I can imagine either this person's having a dark and mysterious past, or maybe a dark and bad past. I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens. So, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video. And don't forget to subscribe and ding the bell so that you guys can stay notified of the content that uploads onto my channel. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone, and please have a wonderful day. Bye-bye!
It's delicious.